The officer is already walking toward your window. You're about to answer a question that could destroy your entire case. Have you ever answered a cop's question without thinking twice? Drop a yes or a no in the comments right now. I want to know how many of you have been there. Here's what most people do not understand. When a police officer asks you a question during a traffic stop, it almost never means what it sounds like. The words sound casual. They sound friendly. But they are designed to get you to say something that can be used against you later. This is exactly where things fall apart for everyday drivers. You think you're just having a normal conversation. You think being polite means answering everything. But the law does not work that way. Most drivers have no idea this is even a thing. Officers are trained to ask specific questions in specific ways. Those questions are built to make you lower your guard. And once your guard is down, you start talking. And once you start talking, you almost always say too much. Here is what makes it worse. You do not have to be guilty of anything to hurt yourself by answering wrong. Even innocent people dig holes for themselves when they do not know how these questions actually work. Every single day, drivers who did nothing seriously wrong end up with tickets, charges, or worse, because they did not know what these questions were really asking. This problem is real. It is dangerous. And it is happening on roads everywhere, right now. There is another layer to this that most people never think about. Officers go through extensive training on how to talk to people during stops. They learn exactly which words make you feel comfortable. They learn which questions make you feel like refusing to answer would make you look guilty. And they use that training every single time they walk up to your window. You are not in a casual conversation. You are in a trained interview. And you were never told that. Most drivers have no idea this is even a thing. They think a traffic stop is just about the ticket. They do not realize that everything they say from the moment that officer approaches is potentially on camera, on audio, and on record. I have gone through hundreds of real traffic stop recordings. I have studied body cam footage, analyzed court records, and looked at real driver encounters from across the country. And I see the same exact mistakes happening again and again. Drivers who mean well, drivers who are polite, drivers who just want to get home. And they all fall into the same traps because nobody ever taught them what these questions are really doing. The good news is that once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And that awareness alone could protect you the next time you see those flashing lights in your mirror. So today, that changes for you. Here's the first move, and it might be the most important thing you hear in this entire video. The question sounds like this. Do you know why I pulled you over? It sounds like a simple question. It almost sounds like the officer is testing to see if you are self-aware. But here is what it is actually doing. It is inviting you to confess. If you say, I think I was going a little fast, you just told the officer you knew you were speeding. That statement can be used in court. That statement can be the only thing a prosecutor needs. You handed it to them for free with a smile on your face. Here's the truth. You're not legally required to answer that question. You have the right to remain silent. That means the right to not say anything that could hurt you. It applies the moment you're stopped, not just after you are arrested. Most people think their rights only kick in after handcuffs go on. That is completely wrong. Your rights are with you the entire time. Say exactly this. I'm not sure, officer. Could you tell me? That is it. That is the whole answer. You are being polite. You are not being difficult. But you are not handing them a confession either. This phrase puts the responsibility back on the officer to tell you what they observed. You do not admit anything. You do not deny anything. You just redirect politely and calmly. This works because it keeps your words off the record. Nothing you say can be twisted because you said almost nothing at all. You stayed respectful. You stayed calm. And you protected yourself without ever being rude. Officers cannot penalize you for simply asking them to explain the stop. That is a completely reasonable and legally sound response. Knowing your rights is not the same as being difficult. It is just being smart. Now this next one is where most people completely fall apart, and it happens fast. The question sounds like this. Have you had anything to drink tonight? Most people panic immediately. They either say no too quickly, which can sound defensive, or they say just one or two, trying to sound honest and reasonable. Both of those answers can seriously hurt you. If you say no and the officer smells something or sees something, now you look like a liar on top of everything else. If you say one or two, you have just given them probable cause. That means you gave them a legal reason to investigate further. Probable cause is the legal term for when police have enough reason to believe a crime might have happened. And you just handed it to them yourself, out of your own mouth, trying to be cooperative. Say exactly this. Officer, I'd like to respectfully decline to answer questions without speaking to an attorney first. Some people think that sounds aggressive or suspicious. It is not. It is your constitutional right. The Fifth Amendment says you do not have to answer questions that could incriminate you. Incriminate means saying something that makes you look guilty. You can use that right politely and calmly at any point during a stop. You do not need to wait. You do not need permission. You just need to say it clearly and calmly. Now, quick reminder here, and I want this to feel like something a friend would say to you. Everything I am sharing with you today is for educational purposes only. This is not legal advice. I am not your lawyer. Every situation is different, and laws vary by state and by city. If you are dealing with something serious right now, please talk to a licensed attorney in your state. A real lawyer who knows your local laws is the only person who can give you real legal advice. Okay, back to it. That phrase works because it signals to the officer that you know your rights. It does not mean you are guilty. It means you are informed. Officers encounter uninformed drivers every single day. When you use that phrase calmly and respectfully, it changes the entire dynamic of the stop. You do not owe anyone a confession. Stay calm, stay quiet, and stay protected. All right, how many of you are thinking about a past traffic stop where you said way too much? You are not alone, and that is exactly why we are all here together. Drop a comment below and tell the group what happened. Your story might help someone else avoid making the exact same mistake. We are all learning this together, and that is what makes this community so valuable. Now here is the third move, and this one trips up even confident, experienced drivers. The question sounds like this: do you mind if I take a look around your car? This one sounds so casual, so friendly. Like the officer's just asking a small favor, and the easiest thing to do is say, sure, go ahead. Most people say yes because they think saying no makes them look guilty. That fear is exactly what this question is designed to create in you. Here's the reality. You have a Fourth Amendment right. That means the government cannot search your property without your permission or a warrant. A warrant is a legal document signed by a judge giving police permission to search. If you say yes to that casual question, you have just given up that right completely. Whatever they find, and even things that seem harmless, can now be used against you. Say exactly this: Officer, I do not consent to searches. Am I free to go? Those two sentences are doing a lot of work. The first makes your position clear. The second sentence asks whether you are being detained or whether you can leave. Detained means legally held in place. If you are not being detained, you have the right to leave. This phrase works because consent is a legal shield. Without your consent, any evidence found in an unauthorized search can potentially be thrown out. By saying this calmly, you are protecting yourself in a way that could matter enormously later. You're not guilty just because you know your rights. You are prepared. Now here is the fourth move, and I need you to pay close attention to this one. The question sounds like this: where are you coming from tonight? It sounds like small talk. It sounds like the officer is just being conversational, so people answer it without thinking. Oh, just a friend's house. Every single one of those answers creates a picture, and that picture can be used against you. This is exactly where things fall apart. The officer is not making small talk. They are building a timeline. They are looking for inconsistencies. Say exactly this: I'd rather not say, but I'm happy to provide my documents. You are required to provide identification, but not required to explain your personal movements. Is there someone in your life who has no idea any of this information exists? Do not wait until after something goes wrong to share this. Send it right now. Now here is the fifth move. Can you step out of the car for me? Officers do have the legal authority to ask you to exit the vehicle during a stop. Say exactly this: I'll step out, officer. I do not consent to any searches. This keeps you cooperative and protected at the same time. You now know something that most drivers will never know. The next time those lights appear, use at least one of these exact phrases. Stay informed, stay calm, and always know your rights before you need them.